There's a warning. Where's my episode warning? I'm just kidding, but yeah, definitely. The opposite was bad at showing all the band members. I would say that. Yeah, it's like you guys make the what she's on one, but only the lead singer is black on her. Yeah, I was like, this is it. Time for another Band-Maid reaction video, guys. And this time we're gonna react to an official live video, right? So in the last video, so maybe mentioned that the live video performance is better than sound. It's a different feel to it, so whatever, right? And then one person was like, oh, check out specifically Domination of live videos, so we can do that then. And maybe the next video might be Domination, like the music video, we might compare them and whatnot. As a side note, to say that I'm sorry I didn't have time today to do the Takamine videos, because I just something at work, so I used to do like university lectures and so on, and today I'm working with these like thesis students, they're writing thesis. I'm helping them with the research and science or whatnot, right? And it's just kind of interesting because doing a lecture at the university is one thing, but today then me and the professor work with these guys, and we have only these two guys right there, and we're spending a few hours to explain them, you know, some like complicated subjects or whatever, and it takes like way too long time you expect. So I got home like at 8 today because it takes so much more time, because I don't want to do the video, but it's an interesting feeling when you're having, you know, two young, brilliant minds in your office. You try to explain to them something very, very complicated, but you got them there, these two guys only, right, for like 4 hours, and you can be like, oh, this is how it works, and you can really go into detail. So, okay, but anyway, let's check out Band-Maid. Maybe that's too loud, honestly. I don't know. It's okay. This is my first live reaction, huh? Live. Yeah, I've never seen them actually like a lot. Yeah, I gotta go to an actual Pokemon. Definitely. Oh, it's like an epilepsy warning. Where's my epilepsy warning? I'm just kidding, but yeah, definitely. It's a little bit like... Oh, I'm a badass super. I was just with this feeling compared to Thrill, right? Thrill, they obviously were better at showing all the band members. I would say that. Yeah, it's a little harder of getting the live performance, the camera work. Definitely a little bit like, yeah, it doesn't have the same like full setup band. No, it's certainly more of the thing. You guys make what she's on her one, but only the lead singer is black on her, yeah. I keep thinking about what did you do, right? She's almost like kind of she almost has the juxtaposition in her voice, right? That's what I feel that it's my reading now, right? So she has like, they got the blue, she got red, they got white, she got black, I kind of feel like the opposite of the others, yes. It's the inverse of all the colors or whatever. Or about like what the juxtapositioning, but sorry, and shushing. Juxtapositioning and shushing of colors, come on. Yeah, second solo. For side note, today actually, I was thinking I was working, I was watching a little bit of the, you know, big Komachi's, like, you know, the actual artists. Yeah, doing the live actually big about performance on YouTube. I was like, this is it. This didn't work, man. I was listening to me. Yeah, of course. I'll play more later, but I also have one stream where I'm like playing animals or whatever. Of course. Oh, I like it. I was a big fan of this kind of like, long solo. They didn't have a really long ballad solo in the rock. One of my favorite like solos of all time. They're actually, I don't know, whatever. Don't get distracted too much. Now it's like, it certainly feels very, because there's a lot of Japanese music, right? It certainly feels very classic Japanese, so how they're now mixing like the English words, right? It's very common in different anime optics, right? You're gonna have like different simple phrases like hello and no, then kind of like throwing a little English into the otherwise or Japanese, right? It's quite iconic. For the most modern Japanese music, I think, yeah, right? One, 2 words in English. Absolutely. Okay. I definitely like the solo, but let's check it out. I definitely like the solo a lot for this one. Probably more than the previous one. Okay, so let's break down the actual video, right? Or I guess we call it live performance, what we call it. Some links below, right? Because I really enjoy doing this also for, of course, anime openings, right? And I like to analyze them and talk about, oh, look at that scene there, that's a traitor, and so forth, right? So anyway, first of all then, so yeah, obviously they have the team, right? They are maids, and she certainly has kind of the similar color that she has in Trill and so on, right? Now, like I said in the last video, I've only seen obviously that Trill and the new opening, right, for, Rock Maid, Lady Rock, whatever you translate it to. And I think certainly here in Domination, as with Trill, they feel more, I guess I would call it traditionalized with their maid outfits. I think it feels more, kind of the classic maid outfits, where I think in the later ones they kind of change it up. There are the color schemes, right? So that's probably the first thing that stands to me. And I'm not surprised. I'm just saying that to me is kind of like an obvious thing, right? That I suppose that in the past you have, Band-Maid is probably more, again, traditionalized maids, right? And then, of course, you want to change it up or whatever, right? So you want to, alter different outfits and so forth. And obviously, you want to have a different kind of performance outfit, right, over the years of being an artist, of course, obviously speaking. But I think that this is kind of one way they can, or has, I guess, then, right, changed the outfits and so on. And I think about it earlier, I was on the point of, like, favorite music and whatnot, right? So as a child, I was very into Kiss, right, okay? So my best friend, my best other friend, he's a huge Kiss fan, and his father used to play, and our dads, especially his dad and also my dad, used to actually play in like a punk rock band kind of thing when we were kids. And his dad kind of kept going with that and so forth. So we kind of got that a lot. And I think that, I'm not saying it's the exact same thing as Kiss or whatever, but it kind of reminds me of that, because Gene Simmons and Post that, they also obviously changed their outfits, right? They changed their, glamour rock, as that Jonas called them. They changed their outfits, they changed their, their disguise, right? They changed their makeup over the years. It's kind of similar to me, right? You're going to have this is the early years, then you can do some of the order. So I think it's kind of similar. And maybe that's also potentially, I would say, overall here, if you do to my channel, why I do really like these kind of rock band performance thing. Like I said, because, I'm a huge Kiss fan, right? I grew up being a big Kiss fan. My favorite band as a child, right? So you can kind of think from that's kind of where I come from. I like this, like, over the top, performance. I want rock music to be. I love glam rock, I love Poison and so on. I love those kind of bands, right? So etc. Yeah. So I'm a huge fan, like Bret Michaels and so on. Yeah, I like that, the higher performance. So I always like these kind of. I think in any kind of country, right? Because the music, I want it to be. I really want artistic music to be a performance and also a good song, right? And also a side note then, obviously I think why I also like anime openings, right? Whatever, but especially anime openings, because you obviously get a great song, and then you get great visuals, and if it's perfect, if it's a really good anime opening, you get a great song, right? You get the visual and you get a story, right? and they also have the opening and they're telling you a story of like, here's the hero, he's gonna train or whatever, here's the bad guy, you know, that's what I really want, right? So that's what probably I love anime openings, because you get the whole, you get the performance, you get the design, you get everything combined perfectly if it's like a really good opening. You hear this all the time, right? They're like, hello, yeah. They love this in Japan. They love it in Japan. And if you are in Japan, you live in Japan, you also see the same thing, like it's on the streets, right? So they love to have like signs or, you know, like food or whatever, and they have like one English word. It's very popular in Japan, yeah. So you have this like really weird named like foods that have like one English word and then it's like Japanese for the rest of it or whatever. It's very common. So this to me it feels very Japanese, honestly, where they have, you know, the general lyrics, the text, right, is in Japanese, but they have this moment when she's going like hello, when everyone knows like hello. It's like no. Yes, it's like one or two English words that is easy to understand. Everyone knows it, right? And then it's the rest in Japanese. This to me feels like so Japan. This is so modern Japan, but it really is. This song I think had a lot more solos than the previous one I heard and seen. If I'm wrong, I mean, yeah, sure, it probably has solos before too, but this one I felt they looped back to that a lot more. Yeah, this felt much more kind of a classic, like, okay, we got some guitar riff here, we got this thing, right? And in one way, maybe that's why, but this song here, maybe I was crazy here now, but this to me felt more like the more classic, you know, kind of American rock, right? Not necessarily Kiss or what I mentioned earlier, but I just felt this felt more like probably mostly 80s rock, I would say, for America, first and foremost then. I mean, compared to the other songs I heard before, right? This felt and had how the tempo between the different like chorus and this part, it felt more like a classic, like an American 80, like late 80s probably, than rock music. All the two songs I would say wouldn't feel as much as that, even though they obviously have like an overlap because it's a rock music and so forth, right? But I think this one felt the most like American styled, if that makes any sense. So leave a comment below. But I felt so, and I think especially because of these riffs, of these solo bits, and the way I said the structure of like the tempo in between them, right? Like the looping, and I mean looping in music, but like the way a song has a loop, you know what I mean? You have, let's say you have like 4 parts of a chorus, right? Then you go back to the first bit again, like the distance between those things and the timing of them. In this song here, I felt a lot more, I think, like classic American 8-stroke. The Red on the songs. I hope it makes any sense. I hope everyone gets what I mean here. I will say the minus of this live performance, and I did mention it of course earlier, is that I have a harder time, like feeling a little bit like seeing the other band members. Yeah, this one definitely was much harder. Like in the first one, Thrill, right, you had the cutting, the classic faces and what. It definitely felt much more like, I get like a pretty good look on all of the people, right? And obviously the music video, the latest one, is much more like higher production and cutting and so forth. But here instead, it's a little bit hard to kind of like, you know, I don't see the drummer that much, I don't see the bass that much. Yeah, it's a little bit harder getting that feel, right? So, like as in the last video, I'm still trying to, like, you know, figure out who's my favorite, you know. I have to join the wars, right? I have to be that guy, you know. I have to alienate half the fan club and be like, no, this is the best person, this is the best band member. Like, I'm still trying to be like, you know, who's my favorite, right? As a side note then, man, I mentioned Kiss earlier, obviously I'm a Paul Stanley fan. I mean, I like Gene Simmons, but I'm a Paul Stanley. So when I was a kid, right, when I was, my first Halloween, me and my best friend, then of course, I had the Paul Stanley makeup, right, and he had the Gene Simmons makeup. We went out trick-or-treating, right? So of course. So then no one wanted to be Ace Frehley, you know what I mean? But yeah, you guys gotta explain to me if she's always wearing a just the positioning outfit, because if she's the lead singer. I mean, that to me seems obvious, so I think I'm right on that, but I definitely have the tendency of like, yeah, if they are white, she's black, and she's red, and they're definitely that. Now she has a blue rose right in her hair though, and she has red now in the later. And in Japanese culture, you usually contrast red versus blue a lot. You saw that happen in the Gundam yesterday. You have the main girl is red, she's Aka, and then the other girl is Aoi, she's blue, right? And they kind of like maybe lovers, right? So that's a very, or they start as enemies, then they turn into lovers. It's a very classic, because of the red and blue uni in Japanese culture. So I think this here is a link to that. Maybe I'm overthinking this thing, but I love overthinking stuff. Because now she has like a red rose, right? And then I see her in the latest music video, and then it's like a red team instead. So I'm like, oh yeah, I see what happened here. Like, I don't know. I'm probably overthinking it, but I'm just like, yeah, I see. She's doing the red and blue contrast. Okay, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm just like overanalyze stuff, but that's what I'm here for. It's actually probably my favorite song so far from Band-Maid, actually, I will say. Probably a little bit, like I said earlier, because it did remind me of, honestly, like kind of more of my childhood. Obviously, I grew up with that 80 rock music, right? The most I mentioned, so that might be why, you know. Yeah, maybe that's why. But anyway, what do you guys think? Maybe subscribe and have a great day. Oh yeah, actually, tomorrow, definitely gonna, of course, watch next episode of the anime, right? Don't forget about that. Tomorrow, of course, we have Rock Ladies episode 2, right? And I think it was great, and I really do enjoy watching these, how I say it, right? And I'll also be like, I don't watch those, you know, shonen animes. I like those too, right? But I like to do like reviews and reactions and talk about, let's call it less, you know, mainstream animes, right? I think it's much more interesting looking at an anime that isn't just like, oh, this is like, you know, Naruto or Solo Leveling or whatever. I think it's like super mainstream. Everyone knows about it. No, I prefer doing like videos about like rock ladies. That is like obscure anime that like only 10 people have seen. You know, I'm like, look at this thing, it's awesome, right? It feels more meaningful saying that. Oh, I like this show, right? I like this thing here that no one has seen before. And I have like Maki from being Power, which is like super common characters. But whatever. It's hard to buy those figures, okay, for unknown anime. Anyway, see you guys and have a great day.